So it's Monday morning, the 6th of April, and so it's a holiday today, it's family day in South Africa. And so I've got my decarb shirt on, just driving around scouting some soybeans, and this is my pride and glory field. And I must say, this is some of the better beans that I think I've grown over the last few years. They are just loaded with pods. These are no-till beans, so planted them with a 2150 early riser, no-tilled into a thick cover crop, not a cover crop, a thick mat of material. And yeah, I like to show this type of beans because it's just to maybe inspire somebody else, to show them that it is possible to grow proper beans. Even though we did have like a drier, difficult year, there is still a lot of potential, and the value coming out of the no-till and the cover that I had on here preserved moisture. So my house is over there on that hill. The other field that he harvested was, get it back into focus, down there in that call it a valley. But this field over here, even though it might be 3 miles away from there, we did have a few rain events, more than we did have back at home. Not to say that it was a really wet year, but I do still think there might have been 1 or 2 weeks that went past that we skipped on some rain, or did not have enough rain. So over there, that's my neighbor. He also started cutting his beans. I think he's got some proper yields over there as well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to cutting these beans. These are really looking quite promising. They are loaded from the bottom all the way to the top. So I am standing in the sprayer track here. Just move up a bit, but just to show you, they are loaded all the way from the bottom all the way to the top. This is they say it's a 5.7 maturity. I reckon it's closer to a 5.3. It's a pioneer bean, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to cutting this. I like all of those pods that are stacked at each node, and I do think the node lengths are quite short. I will keep you updated. I think these beans are still maybe 2 weeks away from being cut, but really looking forward to it. A beautiful day it is today, so we don't have anything happening on the farm here. So I'm quickly gonna take you on just an equipment tour. But this is in the new shed. Put this up last year, and so here on the inside, this is the one grain cart that we have, the AgriCAD. This one takes 20 tons, does have some beans in it. Then so we do have a rodent problem at the moment here on the farm. The rats have been chewing on some of the electrical stuff, so that's why you'll see all the tractors' bonnets are opened up. We put out some bait, and if you take up or open up, leave up the bonnets, then they tend not to hide, because if they get somewhere to hide and they make a nest, then it's a problem. So I think let me just start over in the corner over there. So there's my son's little Suzuki quad bike. Sometimes I might even use this to go and check up on the cows, and yeah, quad bikes are really useful on the farm, but I prefer running my Polaris side by side. And then this is my drone. This is a T50 drone that I use, and I do think I will. It does a proper job for what I use it for. So yeah, that's about it. When it comes to drone, I'm not going to say anything more. That's just the bin for the drone. Let me just show you some of the. So there in the corner, you'll see there's some rat droppings. There's some bait that we put out to try and control them. So yeah, like I said, yeah, that's the one grain cart. And then this is the Puma. So this Puma, it pulls one of my 10-row planters, even though I did pull my 12-row 2150 with it. We use it to spread and to do some wide dropping with one of the wide drop applicators. And then this is my dry spreader. So this is a Vicon Geo spread, and I'm really happy with it. So if you've got like perfect wind still conditions, you can spread like 54 meters wide with it, but I stick to 32 meters most of the time, or 28 if I want to do like 3 12-row planter widths if I need to top dress anything or want to top dress anything dry. That's how the spinners look, and the maintenance on these units. This is the second one that I've owned, so I tried to keep it recent and decent. Phrase that I stole from somebody that I know. But yeah, so it's got 6 veins. You get like different veins for different widths. But so the way this works is your granules comes down and it brings it up to speed, and then it throws it out softly, so you don't get that fine dust. And the application pattern behind this is extremely good. And yeah, running costs on this, the maintenance, it takes some grease, some on the actuators. So those actuators, that's what controls the dosing points, the amount that needs to be put out. And then also you've got like swath control, so it'll just move the dosing point unit to where it should be to compensate for the width that you are spreading. And it is an isobus. It's an isobus unit, so it'll plug into all of my tractors. I do run ag leader displays, and you just there's the isobus plug at the back. Plug it in, it'll populate, and Bob's your uncle, and you can go and spread. So this is my tractor that I work with most of the time. This is a 250 Magnum. The only thing that this tractor also does most of the time is either pulling my planter or doing some wide dropping. This tractor really pulls, and even though this has got these thin wheels on them, these are 380s. It fits into my 76 centimeter rows really well. So if I need to get into the rows with a wide drop, or I can actually hook up the spreader to it as well, but it only pulls the planter and it does some wide dropping for me. And really good fuel usage to it. This is my old trusty 8330 John Deere, so I do run a lot of red equipment, but I am a big fan of John Deere equipment as well. It's just at the moment the red ones fit my pocket a bit easier, but nothing against John Deere. Really decent, good tractors. This tractor, it's the biggest one that I've got. So any heavy tillage that I need to do, I do with this. It's got 710 70R 38 on it. It'll actually float over some mud sometimes if it gets a bit muddy. Yeah, also running ag leader RTK, so I'm RTK on my whole operation. And yeah, this is really, we did overhaul the engine about, I think, since we've overhauled it, I don't think it's done 500 or 600 hours, but it had done 9,100 hours prior to when we had to overhaul the engine. And the reason that we had to overhaul it, so on the air intake, this part here, out of from there should have been an update on it. So it got a tear on the inside and it sucked dust, and dust and engines sleeves don't like dust. So yeah, so that's why we had to redo it. But yeah, this tractor, my deers are a bit a bit thirstier on diesel than what the red ones are, but this is a proper tractor. I can't complain. It does its job. This is my 2150. That 12 row 76, and yeah, if I have to choose with what if I only have to run one planter, it'll definitely be this 2150 that I'll run. So it's 12 row. I still have airbags on this. It's got a liquid system on it, so I don't have delta force, but I can't complain. If you see the crops emerging behind the case planter, then you understand why you don't want to run something else. Also put out some rodent poison, and well, I bought these traps, but these African rats are too smart for American bolt traps, so yeah, they don't get up. I don't trap them in that. This is my fertilizer unit that I'm running. So this is a Yetter 2960 that I've got on my case planter. So it's actually, you can set the height, how deep you want to put it's a row unit mounted, so you can set the depth at how deep you want to run your fertilizer at the bottom with relation to your seeds, and then you can move it in or out, and you can even you can put on another set on the other side to run 2 by 2 by 2. So yeah, so that's the unit that I use to put on my fertilizer on this planter. I've got the Central Cedars standard 2150 planter, and then so this is how I meter my fertilizer. I run this is called a squeeze pump. This was built by Stanza Pro. So it's hydraulic driven for variable rate. There's the motor, and then there's a valve, and then I've got a flow meter. There's the flow meter, and so the display will tell it you need to dispense like 200 liters or 250 liters or whatever amount. And as the liquid goes through the flow meter, it comes in here, goes through this manifold, and then you've got these hoses. It's called a squeeze pump. And then these rollers, as the motor tells it you need to do a certain amount of rotations, then these rollers they go around, and then they rub out, they squeeze your fertilizer out of these tubes, and then it goes from row 1 to row 12. That's just regular clear hose that goes all the way through to down there, and you can see there down at the bottom, that's where the fertilizer then is delivered at the bottom. So yeah, and then I do have an infrared system. That's the standard case infrared. There's one, you can see it easier in here. So, and I like this. I've tested quite a lot of planters, and I prefer this. It's like a rubber boot. It's got an opening over there. Seed will come out, and it'll do a proper job at putting your infrared, whatever you're putting down, into the seed change, and then it's closed. I think this closing system is legendary. I think it's one of the better systems available on the market. So yeah, there's some rat droppings on here and some feet. That's worrying because they start to get into these planters. There's a lot of electrical wiring. This planter is controlled by Precision Planting. I did run it through my Pro 700, so it's got a SRM's V drive, all the Precision Planting controllers there on the inside. So it's a good planter. It's a good system. Even though I'm a big ag leader guy, I have burnt up, I think, 3 of these V drives so far. So my ag leader stuff is a bit more reliable. That's just my 2 cents worth that I'm going to say about that. Yeah, this is my mixing cart. It's a Jerry car, also built in South Africa, about a 2-hour drive from where I'm at. That's where they are built. So yeah, just got a Honda pump on here, a 3-inch pump, and then you put that's the suction side. You put the suctions, you fill it up from that side, from the water source. You take that hose and connect it to either a truck or a tank, whatever. And then, well, we'll mix on the inside. It's got that long pipe there with openings at the bottom, and it'll do a proper job at agitating. And then there's a suction point, and then it's got a big filter. And from here, we fill the sprayer out to that side. Just see the inside here. See, there's so that's the pipe that we use to connect to the sprayer, and yeah, just some adapter fittings depending on where we're going to stop at and fill out. Some of the tanks have got 2-inch adapters, and some of them got 3 inches. Even some of the older ones still have only, I think, 1 3/4 inch. Yeah, really, I think this is, when it comes to planting, this is like the golden standard. And I've planted and I've tried quite a lot of planters on the market, and I must say this is my first choice, and after this it'll definitely be the equalizer that I've got. Really happy with it. And then yeah, so this was the newest edition. This is the Case Optim 270, and also really happy with this CVX transmission. And this tractor is really, when it comes to fuel usage, this is as light as you can get. I think I've tested quite a few tractors as well. I know the Fendt and the Claas also say they are really light on fuel, but I must say so far this is way lighter on fuel than all the other. The only bad thing about it, it runs deaf. So, but yeah. It's also it's got the Pro 1200 from Case in it, but there's the ag leader display, and I still won't change out my ag leader displays to Case's 1200 units, just because the ag leader display it's far superior. If you've used one, you'll understand why. There's another 180 Puma that I've got. Yeah, these are so reliable, these tractors. I didn't have any issues with them since I've had them. This was the first one that I bought, and it's got I think it's close to 3,500 hours that it's got on now, and I'm really happy with it. This is my self-built drone, actually the trailer. This is an old trailer that we had, and yeah, so there's my generator just strapped it to the back. The batteries are in there. So this is it's a 1,000-liter tank that I've got, and then I just bought this mixing unit. So it's got the conical over there to where you put your mixture into. This is where, so if you want to add anything in there, so you suck. We take clean water from there. It comes up. It's got a flow meter up here, and then that flow meter. Then I measure out the amount that I want to put into the big conical. It takes like, I think it's 500 liters. And then when I've put in all the, let's say 400 liters of whatever, then what I'm going to spray, so the herbicides, insecticides, or whatever pesticide I'm going to do, it goes in here, and then we just change the valves around, and we'll suck that in, and so it does a proper job at agitating it. And yeah, just a filter on the line, comes out, another filter. And then one of the things I do need to add here is a retractable reel. So at the moment I just went and I looped my hose around here. But yeah, it was a quick bolt, cheap bolt, easy bolt. Does its job. Actually, it was an old car trailer. Now put it to better use. And then yeah, seeing as how we're in South Africa with load shedding, I already went the route to adding solar to the shed. So yeah, it's just a solar inverter and one battery at the moment. I'm going to put in 2 more batteries down there. It's just for lighting purposes in here, in this shed. And what I do need to add is 2 extractors. It does get a bit hot in here during summertime. And yeah, that's it for the shed. I'll go through some of the others. But yeah, at the moment, nice sunny day. I think I might try my hand at beans maybe 2 or 3 days from now. And then yeah, there's the first grain dam, like we call it. It's filled full of soybeans, and I'll probably start trucking that away this coming week.